So I made this bar. I kind of hate it. So my plan right now is to completely trash this project and start from scratch. There's a lot of assets in here that I modeled that I really like these booths. I'm going to use these booths. I made these. I'll probably use those again. This plant. A lot of this stuff came from past builds. I was trying to build this pretty quickly. Like over here, I have, like, this is just assets from the Black Cat. But I was the whole reason why I made this bar was because Harry T, they made the pool table world that's up in VRChat right now, and they made the asset available, and I wanted to build a bar around it because it's fucking cool as shit. But I kind of hate this design, so I'm gonna completely trash this, and I'm gonna do a redesign. I drew out a new layout, and I tried to draw it out in here. I'll show you it in a second, but let me just show you what I have so far and what I'm going to be going for is essentially the same style. A lot of this just, I don't know, like this kind of like looks good. Like I like how this looks, but in game it just felt like so empty and kind of pointless. Like all this space over here is kind of pointless because there's nothing really happening over here, and there's really no dedicated mirror spot, which kind of bugs me. And then over here was giving me like, I had carpet down in here actually before, and I changed it to tile because I thought that would make it look better. And it does, because before it kind of looked like it was giving me like a church vibe, which I didn't really like, but I don't know. I don't like any part of this anymore, so I'm just gonna get rid of the whole thing and kind of move some stuff over, but kind of keeping the same type of design. I had originally used some pictures of like some chain restaurants. I think I was using like an O'Charlie's picture or something. I shouldn't have done that. That was a really bad idea. But like it's kind of good. Like down here is kind of good. And this whole ceiling thing, I'm gonna take I modeled all this out for this project, so I'm gonna take all of these and bring it into the other project and essentially do the same thing. Just make it way more focused. I'll show you the blueprint, like I said, in a sec. But I'm gonna show you the stairs first before I jump over there. The stairs are out here because I kind of want to use the same thing. See, like, look, this looks like so empty. I didn't know what to do, and I still don't know what to do. So, hence me trashing it. This was the carpet. Once I had this in Unity and I baked lights, it ended up looking green, which was really weird. And obviously that's just a texture change if I wanted to fix it, but I don't know. It's just not good. But I like these stairs and like this whole like little brick section. Let's go down into this little hallway. Where am I? Like this is pretty good. I actually like how this is turning out. The kitchen was cool too. In this next build, I'm going to build doors for the kitchen, but I'm not actually going to build out the kitchen. A lot of these textures are missing. I don't know why. I must have renamed a file or something. But yeah, that's the plan. Oh, let me show you out here. This is actually pretty cool. I really like this. So I want to do this again. And I actually want to, I made these little heater things like a long time ago. And they're pretty good, but I actually want to, I was playing Call of Duty and I was looking at the heater props that they had made in, like it's like in every one of their multiplayer maps or something. I was just playing multiplayer and staring at the heater models. I want to make some like those. Those look cool. Okay, so basically this, much smaller and cozier. And I'm probably not going to use the pre-built stage that I made a while ago. I want to do something more like one of those, I like the portable stage idea type stages, I guess. So here, let me show you the blueprint. So I tried to draw this out. So this is the first floor and the second floor over here. So this is the entrance. And instead of having like a dedicated area for spawning in, I was just going to have it like part of the main area. And then I wanted to do like a more traditional L-shaped bar with the area of the pool table right here, the back wall being much closer with one row of booths, a couple tables. Over here I'll have a dedicated mirror spot. Yo, I could probably have a, like I'm looking over here and this is starting to feel kind of empty to me, or like it would be empty, so a mirror could be over there. I like mirrors, I'm sorry. So still have this hallway. So like the kitchen doors would be here. So this is stairs to the second floor and stairs over here. The stairs is more similar to this build right here. So right here, it's kind of same concept, just flipped around, and then these stairs would kind of be hidden by the wall. You wouldn't see people going up like you can right now. I'd have the kitchen door here and then here. So the idea being that the people working here could enter here, exit, or enter and exit on both sides. This is going to be much lower ceilings in this area with it rising up right here. So on the second floor, there's like a balcony overlooking the table area. Entrance from the stairs here, entrance from the stairs here. I'm going to have that outdoor balcony area very similar, wrapping around on the one side, having a stage here and then a few tables. And then there'll be windows on all the sides, or the side here. And this back wall, this like L-shaped wall here, will be very similar to this window wall with the doors. So that's the plan. I'm gonna try to do that. It's just gonna be like a speed build. That way you've got like a picture of what I'm trying to do in your head, and then I'm gonna model this stuff and I'll record and then speed through it, and then I'll try to talk over and explain what I'm doing. And yeah, all right, I'm gonna try to talk over and explain what I'm doing. I guess it's important to know that like I'm not the best modeler in the world, so some of the things that I do may not be like the best way to do things. There might be other ways. This is just kind of the ways I know, and this is how I do it. So I'm just gonna like try to talk over for the next 20 minutes or so and explain what I'm doing. So basically what I'm doing to begin with is I'm going into the old project that I was in, and I'm grabbing all the assets that I had made in there and things that I had pulled in there, and then I brought them over into my new project, which is like a brand new project from scratch. And I just kind of took all those assets, moved it over. I exported them as FBXs and just had them in some separate folder, brought it in, and now they're all in this project. And what I normally do is the layout is usually, for the most part, made up, but I'll like Google and look at references like on Pinterest or Google, or there was this other website that I got from, I was watching, I think it was Blender Guru gave a website, I forget what it's called, but I go and look at references, and you saw when I pulled up my browser there, I was like looking at like pubs and stuff, because the pubs will probably fit this aesthetic the most because it's supposed to be small like that, and most pubs are, I guess. I don't really know the difference between a pub and a bar, but they're kind of the same to me. But so yeah, I mean, I already showed you the layout, and so you already know what it's gonna look like, and I'm kind of just building that out. I'm never like the layout that I draw is a good start to where I'm going, and I'm always kind of aiming for that, but as I build it out, it always like shifts a little bit, and then the design gets changed. One thing that I'm doing a bit differently with this project, which I normally don't do that often, is I'm building the walls using planes instead of, I usually use cubes because I never know if there's going to be something. You would think I would know, but there's like, I never know when there's going to be like something on the other side. So it's just always been easier for me to just like mess with cubes and model, or use cubes to model out the walls. But here I decided to just use planes to model out the walls, and I was hoping that by using planes it'd be a bit easier. I also use planes to model out the bar there, where I'm like I'm like modeling out the shape of the object, and then adding solidify, and then adding width to it, and then applying that, and then modeling it like normal, like I would if I was like using a cube. One thing I'm doing here is I took the fridges that I had made in the last version of the world, and I brought them over, and I like just kind of made a shrunken small version of that. I found this at this point in the build. I was using a reference photo of a bar that I found that I really like, They had like the two. You might have actually seen it in the browser that I had up, but it was like it had like these small fridges throughout the back part of it, and I thought that was really nice. One thing that I want to do is modeling a lot more like small decorative pieces to have around. Like what I normally do is like I build out these like the bars and the tables and stuff, and I don't really take the time to build stuff out on there. And I want to start doing that. The main reason why I haven't is because when you're building a bar and a table and a booth, like that's three high detailed things or like concentrated detailed items that I spend time modeling. And if I wanted to put like several different cups and like decorative pieces or like little lamps or something like that, those all of a sudden you've got like six high detailed things with three things. So like the three, like the tables and the booths and the bar together, like those were just three things to model, and it's taking me twice as long just to get the little decorative pieces. But if I like start making those decorative pieces, I can save them for later and then I could use them later. So I want to do that with this, and I want to make this stuff in a way to where it makes sense to reuse them. Because, I mean, like, so like with my other projects, I have like beer bottles and like pickups that I use throughout a lot of my stuff, but they're not actually like packaged out anywhere. I need to like actually create like a dedicated atlas and like texture or like a pack of pickups that I can like just throw in worlds. That'd be useful. You can see while I'm working on the top part here, the like design changed a little bit up here where in the drawing I had like the entire top just kind of cut off, but I ended up doing like a more of an L-shaped balcony. You actually can't see it anymore. Right now I'm working on like the stage. I saw it was like the club, there's several club packs on like the Unity asset store, but one of them had a stage that had like carpeting all around it, or like the fabric all around it, kind of like curtains, and I kind of wanted to emulate that. And it was one thing I've been using a lot more lately, specifically with like pillows and furniture and stuff, is the cloth physics. And so I thought it'd be cool to try out using cloth physics for the stage here, and I think it turned out pretty good. I was having issues like bringing up the bottom of the mesh to like work with the cloth physics to like hit the floor properly, so that took a lot of like messing with to get that to be like the right length, but also at an angle enough to where it would give me like the shape that I wanted. I think it did good. It looks pretty good. I'm kind of happy with it. It might be better if it was like right now, like when it hits, it like goes out. It might be better if it was like going in, because I feel like, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, if you were to have that stage and you had those curtains at the bottom, you would probably like push those in so nobody steps on them. I kind of don't want to fix it. I'm probably just going to leave it like that because it still looks good. I don't even know. How would I set that up to get the physics right? Oh, okay, looking at the roof, I remember now because I used a boolean, like a giant cube and a boolean, to get rid of the excess parts of that roof, which that happens later. For some reason, I started using Blender 2.9, which I was like on 2.83 for like the longest time, and I switched to 2.9 because I hadn't had or maybe I was on 2.82, but I switched to 2.9 so that I would have the cloth physics sculpting thing, which is actually, I realize it's kind of useless. Well, it's not useless, but it's kind of useless if, you can see Blender crashing there. I don't know why, but yeah, okay, my point is, the point of the story I'm telling you is, I noticed that 2.9 is like always crashing for me, and I don't know why. Specifically with this project, I don't know what's in here that would cause it to crash. Now I know when I bring in FBX files, even if I'm using the same material over and over on multiple FBX files, it'll like bring those materials over multiple times, and that can make Blender run slow. But I have yet to have an issue where it would like cause a crash. It usually just gets closed, or it usually just gets slowed. But I don't know. This is me modeling out the heaters to kind of, I was looking at references because I had mentioned earlier that I was like looking at the models in Call of Duty that I just thought they looked way better, and I found some other references online that I was using to build these out, and so I tried to do it. I feel like a lot of my models that I've been making lately have been more high poly than I would like wish it would be. Like, I wish they wouldn't be so high poly. Like, I mean, this isn't bad, but still, if it's like 1,500 polygons or something like that, I feel like that's not good for game development. Or maybe it is, or maybe it doesn't matter. Honestly, I don't know. See, I told you I don't know anything. Oh, another thing I've been doing is, which I'm about to do it here, I've been using Substance Painter, which I'm still very new to Substance Painter, and I don't know how to do most things, but I kind of getting the basics down. I actually ended up having to port this into Substance Painter multiple times because I think it was something up with, no, I like kept forgetting stuff. Like, you can see that I don't have the dials on there yet, but as I began to play with it, yeah, you can see I'm going back. Oh no, my UVs were fucked at first, and then I realized I forgot the dials. But as I was playing with a lot of the textures on here, and I downloaded some stuff from the Substance Shared Materials website, or whatever it is, I found some good methods to get the effect that I wanted, but I needed to go back to build the dials because I forgot that. I just kind of pulled them off the old one and manipulated it a bit. And so now I'm back in here for the third time trying to get this right. And I actually think this turned out really good. Like, using that grate with the red steel, I think really looks super nice. Like, even without the red, it would look really good, but the red makes it seem like the metal. Well, it's like the red, and then, well, it's the grate, and then like this plain metal color over the grate, and then the red underneath that makes it look like it was like burning or something. I bet if I create an emission map in Unity and I animate that to like intensify and lower, it'll look really good. I need to find like a heater sound effect. I remember looking for a heater sound effect before, but I can't find any like good ones. Like, they're all really weird, or they're all like buzzing noises, which isn't what I want. I guess what would I want? I want like a hum, I guess. I don't know. Me working with, so like I did some loop cuts right there to get the window to be cut out. But for some reason, the main things I was having issues with when it came to using the planes as walls, I would imagine for most cases it would be easier, but for some reasons I was getting things, like I must have cut the mesh in some way to where on one of those walls I couldn't add edge loops. And I didn't know why, so I had to use like the knife tool to cut in the windows, which is really annoying. And then another thing I noticed is at some point when I was extruding the plane around, at some point I must have flipped it at some point to where what I thought was the inside of the wall was actually like the back part of the mesh, which doesn't render because it's a back face. I mean, unless you have some shader to do it. But so for like most of the upstairs, which I actually sped through this already, roll part of it because it happens again. I had to like grab it or I had to like go through like all the walls and all the pieces that I had modeled out and flipped it all in the upstairs. And I should have somehow separated the upstairs upstairs walls from the downstairs walls. For some reason, I thought it'd be easier if I just kept extruding it and using the same mesh, and it definitely isn't for when I need to like grab parts of it, because I'm upstairs and I need to like grab parts of the wall, like the edge of it or something, and then I'm grabbing downstairs parts too, and at some points it kind of caused some issues too. I actually didn't record some of that because it's just me going through fixing a bunch of stuff that I had already like messed with. I do like how those little floor things turned out. I did some on the ceiling too. The design with that is basically just extruding parts and then using the bevel, like the what do you call it? So instead of doing the round, it goes like in instead of the out bevel. I think it just looks really nice when you're done. If you just extrude some parts of it, like loop cut, extrude that part, loop cut again, extrude it again, and just like those two edges there, do the reverse bevel, and it just looks really nice. Looks like some fancy wood. And this is me building out the canopy thing. The way I had done it, I haven't actually built it out yet, so you won't see it in this video, but the way I had done it was, so I used the plane to make the little triangle, and then I just joined two of the vertices, add solidify to extrude it out a bit, inset the inner parts and delete that face, and then beveled the edges to make it look nice. But to do the canopy, it's just adding a plane, grabbing the top vertices and pinning them in the cloth physics, or setting up those vertexes to, or that vertex group to be pinned, and then just kind of running a cloth simulation, and that makes a pretty good canopy. This one will probably be easier than the other one, because the other one was actually an L shape, so there was a corner to work with there, and I was kind of having problems setting the distance on that canopy, but for the one I eventually do in here would be good. You can see me trying to pick out colors for this wood. I was trying to make it match the booth wood. This is actually this whole thing was kind of a waste of time. So I'm finishing off modeling the bar here. Originally, like I was going through the whole thing and joining all the pieces of the bar together, and the plan was to bring it into Substance Painter and then texturing it the whole thing in there. And so I was trying, what I do is I go through all this and I UV everything out, and I joined all the meshes together, and then I export it. But when I got into Substance, I realized like there's so many parts to this, and I didn't really like manually set up the UVs on this object. I kind of just set I just marked the edges and then pressed unwrap, and wherever it went, I guess. So when I was like trying to work with it in Substance, I didn't know where any of the faces were, and even though I had Blender right next to me and I was like looking, it was just like too much to like fuck with. So I brought it back in, and actually I did a couple iterations of this. I don't even know what I did. I just spent a lot of time doing nothing on this whole thing. I'm still UV. That's probably going to be like the rest of this video is just me UVing out this bar. Oh, and you can see that Blender crashed again. But yeah, so I like started going through it, and I was like it's too much, and I missed some things that I realized, and I didn't catch it in Blender. But yeah, the point is it's too much. I haven't finished texturing out the bar yet, but I think the plan is to I'll probably just grab the textures, or like the wood colors that I want from like CC0 textures or something like that, and then I will apply it onto each part of the bar that I want. So there'll be like 5 or 6 textures on there or something. And then I can go in Blender, bake all the textures to an atlas. And then what I could probably do after that is, this might be a stupid workflow, but what I could do after that is I could take the that baked texture, import it into Substance, and then yeah, you can see me fucking with the walls there, but I can import it into Substance, and then I could apply that texture that I had baked together to the shape, and then I could do any other edits on there, like painting on dust or something like that, or scratches or whatever I want to do. I think that's gonna be the plan. I did end up, so like I'm messing with the metal parts only here. So like my next workaround was to like export each part individually and then try it that way, so it's easier. I only did the metal parts, and even that was kind of fucky. Like I don't even know if I really like how it turned out, to be honest. I just kind of painted on a bunch of dust, but that was the only part I did. And then I moved some plants around, fixed some edges up. I fucked up the wall somehow that I noticed today, but that's not in this video. But that's basically it. That's what I did. So I'll post another video of me building this thing. And yeah, that's all I got for right now. Bye.